Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Coffee With. I'm your host, Christopher Evans. Today it's a true pleasure to welcome Valerie Njie from Bidwell Training Center to Coffee With. How are you?
I'm well, and I'm very pleased to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Well, we're very honored to have you. Could you talk a little bit about the programming and curriculum at the school? That's a good place to start.
Well, Bidwell's been around since 1968, and we've changed substantially. We initially started out as a community-based organization during the civil rights movement. Trades, apprenticeship kinds of programs like plumbing and brick masonry. And in the 80s, we knew that there was a decline, and so we got into partnerships with IBM in healthcare, and now we find ourselves with 7 majors. 4 of those are in the allied health field: pharmacy technician, medical claims processing, medical coding, medical assisting, and we have pharmacy technology, and then we have a culinary school. We have one associate program, chemical laboratory technology, and then we have a horticulture program.
So Valerie, it's been a challenging few years in the market for a lot of young people to find new opportunities. It sounds like Bidwell has some pretty specific programming. How are you doing with job placement following graduation?
Oh, job placement is excellent. And the key to good job placement is partnering with the corporations in advance, instead of designing programs and then crossing our fingers and hoping that jobs will exist once the students complete training. In fact, we can't train enough students. That's the mystery, because while unemployment is declining in the Pittsburgh area, and we know that there probably are fewer people out there in need of jobs, certainly the corporations that we partner with, they cannot find enough qualified people. And that's why we exist. If you want a job, come to Bidwell Training Center.
That's great. That's encouraging. I'm sure a lot of our audience members will be excited to hear that and to learn about it. What drove you to help others get involved with job training and education?
I've been around a long time. I've worked in job training kinds of career training programs for almost 40 years. I started out in elementary education. I started working with adults in need in Utah, California. I've worked all over the country, and it's my passion. I think in my earlier days of teaching young people, I realized that their parents needed my help more than they did, and that's been the driving force for me. And it's so rewarding to work with an organization like Bidwell Training Center that really changes lives. I mean, it's one thing to have a goal and a mission statement, but it's another thing to actually be in a position to deliver.
You know, oftentimes when I speak to college students or even high school students, they ask me about the importance of mentorship. I'd love to know your perspective on mentors, and maybe if you even have any advice for people who are looking to find good mentors.
To teach at Bidwell, you have to have a minimum of 3 years of experience. So we have several chemists, we have a chemical engineer, all of our many culinary faculty members are trained in their careers, and I think total over 100 years of experience in the field. So these are natural mentors. Our teachers are not just there to collect a salary. They know the needs of their respective careers, and they are there to not just train, but to nurture and to develop. And they continue to have relationships with our graduates well beyond their last day of training. And then we also have advisory board members who are experts in the field. And then our students also have an opportunity to work with the experts through, like, for example, the Culinary Federation of America. Our students, they don't wait to get involved as employees in the field. They are active members while they are students. Our horticulture students are constantly involved in the field. They're out there volunteering, they're interacting.
Do you see a lot of activity and engagement from alumni from the program helping the students that are coming out as well?
That's built into the program because we rely heavily on our alum. For example, 4 of our programs require externships. To complete the training program, you have to have from 4 to 8 weeks of experience in the field at a company. And so we've been around long enough that sometimes it's the former graduates who are their site supervisors. Sometimes they are in a position to hire our students. And so there are many, many relationships. And then obviously our graduates come back. They are speakers, they are lecturers, they work with us on volunteer opportunities. So there is a close working relationship.
What do you think inspires you so much every morning to wake up and go do what you do?
The anticipation of what today. I mean, it really is great. When I sometimes get giddy when I go to advisory board member meetings to just realize the commitment of individuals, representatives of, for example, when I go to a chemical laboratory technology advisory meeting, and to know that in the early 90s, you had about 10 chemical companies coming together, creating a position that was in demand that really hadn't existed before. They came to Bidwell. After discussions, we developed the curriculum, and 25 years later, you still have those corporations at the table, changing the direction that the program goes in, expanding it, and still just very, very committed.
Well, Valerie, I'm sure our viewers would like to learn more about Bidwell and the programs you offer. Where would you direct them?
They could call 323-4000 to find out more. They could also look on our website, www.bidwell-training.org, to get more information, or any Monday or Wednesday, they can come over to one of our information sessions at 8:30 in the morning, and that's about a 3-hour information session, and we direct them how to apply for the program. We take you on a tour, we give you all the information you need. You may come to Bidwell because you've heard about our pharmacy technician program, and then once you get in the information session, you find out that there's such a thing as electronic record medical assisting or medical coding that better suits your needs. The best part about it is that our training is at no cost. And I think that's something that people find unbelievable. They think, well, it's based on my income, or I have a GED, so I'm not eligible. You really do need to come, because for the most part, if you're a Pennsylvanian resident, that's the first requirement. The others are that you come to the information session, and then we give you a battery of assessment tests to make sure that you're ready for the training. When you look at some of our careers like pharmacy technician or chem lab, we want to make sure that you have the math and the reading skills so that you can become successful. It's all about success. We do change lives at Bidwell Training Center.
You know, we've talked so much this season on Coffee With about workforce development. Here's some real practical examples of an organization that's making a huge difference.
Oh, absolutely. And when you look at the kinds of jobs that our students are getting, again, at no cost to those who are eligible, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, for sure.
And these are jobs that have a career path. They're not just jobs, they're careers that individuals can move up the ladder.
Yeah, upward mobility.
That's right.
Ever so important. Valerie, thank you so much for being our guest today on the show.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
And continued luck.
Thank you.
And success with your programs. And thank you so much for joining us on Coffee With.